I'm Rupert.
I'm Stefano.
And we're here making a little short video about the 10th anniversary of Jennifer's Footsteps, which is the little short documentary that we made about the Swiss locations used in Dario Argento's Phenomena. And we're sitting...
It's very adventurous of you to do that, to improvise, you know.
But I was going to ask you, we're sitting here in your office. We filmed... This is a new office.
Mm-hmm.
We filmed the old one in your old office just as you were about to move.
Wow, memories.
And I was going to ask you, neat segue, what you remember from the shoot of Jennifer's Footsteps.
Oh, I remember that very vividly. It was winter.
It was
super cold.
Yes.
There was snow everywhere, especially when we went up to the mountains.
Yes, we weren't really expecting it.
No, and it was a difficult drive. I remember that, and spooky to be honest.
I was just going to say that actually because we laughed a lot about the terrible line in the film was Dario Nicolodi saying this is the Swiss Transylvania, but when we were driving through that area,
she was right.
And because it was winter and it was snowy, it was quite spooky or eerie, shall we say? Eerie, yeah.
Eerie is the term. True, because it was foggy, and you could see that house, the spooky house where Fiore walks in.
Dario's daughter, not stepdaughter, as I erroneously say in the documentary.
No, she's
his daughter. His daughter from his first relationship. Yeah.
So she walks up to that house to seek for help.
Yeah. She misses the bus. Yeah.
And that house looked very isolated, very strange, almost uninhabited.
I think we agreed that it was probably a holiday home. I was going to say, actually, this is segueing into my memory. I don't want to interrupt you with it, but I was going to say that one of the things about that house was, one of my memories was, we got there, we weren't expecting it to be quite so snowy or whatever. Mm-hmm. We got there, we filmed that section of us pulling up into the little parking space.
Yes, even parking was difficult.
Yes, because literally they cleared that little parking space and then the rest of it was all snowed in.
Yeah.
And what I remember vividly is it was so foggy that we couldn't actually see the house when we got there. We shot the little bit, then we went and felt a bit disappointed, and then we went for lunch just around the corner at the foot of Santis, the mountain, in this hotel which literally looked like it'd been designed for a Bond film by Ken Adam with the restaurant bit, because it's all stone and this huge room. And
very modern.
And then you cleverly said, let's just go back and see if the fog has cleared, and then we were able to get the shot that is in the film of the actual house, because we couldn't see it at all in the first thing. Anyway, sorry, I interrupted you. Continue with your...
Yeah, it's interesting because normally, I personally, having lived in this country for such a long time, you do not find it very spooky.
No,
no. Everything is well lit, and there's people everywhere. I mean, it's densely populated and everything. And to find a location like that, well, the location scout must have done a pretty good job.
Well, my favorite line from the bit where we're talking, the conversation we're talking is, you know, it's impossible to really be isolated in Switzerland in public transport. And my favorite line is, somebody left behind in Switzerland, not since 1291, which is still my favourite line in the film.
No, because it's interesting. It's still my favourite Dario Argento film, I have to say.
Yes.
Maybe because of the location and because we know the locations, but also because it is very random and weird as a film.
I think I've mentioned this several times. Is that it's obviously because when it was released in English at first, it was cut down heavily and making it even more nonsensical. And even Argento's scholars like Maitland McDonough really didn't have a very high opinion of it originally, and then as a longer cut, and they've now lovingly restored the Italian language version and made all the edits very cleverly, so that you can see as much as possible, the Italian version in English. There's a couple of scenes where they didn't have the dialogue or whatever, but yeah.
Well, the whole film certainly has gained not only a reputation, but it has gained in quality. I mean, maybe I'm seeing it with different eyes now,
I think so.
Or we all do, but at the time maybe it was it was the style of shooting of Dario Argento that made it particular, and nobody shoots a film like that today.
No.
Apart from your first day in a film school, maybe, or something like that. And also, there's this other aspect. If you remember the female lead, Jennifer Connelly, who then became such a big star.
Yes,
Way later.
Yeah. Well, she had several roles as a teenager, but I think this is
as a teenager.
But this is, I think she would have been about 14 when she made it, and there are other films from a little bit later or just before. But this performance here is actually, when you look at it now, you realise just how good it was and how amazing an actress she was even at that age.
Yes.
So, come on, tell me what else. What else do you remember from the film?
Well, Zurich, of course. The Zurich location is a very beautiful villa.
Yes. Yeah.
With the school was.
Film. That's what they use the facade of what's actually a museum.
Exactly. Well, now it's a museum.
Yes,
true. Used to be somebody's house.
Or
absolutely. Before that, but that was beautiful. And then, of course, the long trail up that little river or brook or whatever it was to Torfaller to that fall to that famous window. That was actually just a hole in the rock.
Yes, that we mentioned. We took a photo of me there in the film.
Yeah.
And I was going to say, I think we mentioned it in the film that because it was winter, the path was actually closed, and we actually slipped underneath the thing. The thing. It was
not recommended.
No, certainly not.
No.
We are certainly not approving of that behaviour. Okay, so that's what you remember. It's interesting. I remember all of those things. Some of the stuff I remember is quite random. Actually, the whole reason for filming it, or the reason because I was writing a film blog at the time. But the reason for me rewatching the Argento films was because you'd rewatched a bunch of Argento films, because we were making another film which we would then film the following year, Acquienza.
Yes.
And you'd watched a bunch of Argento films in sort of preparation for that.
True.
You told me about them, and it was a neat dovetailing that really, I have to say it, you inspired the whole thing in the end, really, because it was you mentioning.
That's too much praise.
No, but it was you reuniting because I loved Argento as a teenager and I'd watched a whole bunch of his films, but I hadn't watched them for some years at that point.
Yeah,
so
at that point we watched them for inspiration.
Yes, yeah. And they did have a big inspiration on Acquienza.
Yes.
What I remember vividly is we drove there in your car. It was, I think, a Saturday, and you'd on the way there, you'd burnt a CD of Argento soundtracks, and we were listening to that to get us in the mood on the way there. But on the way back,
we listened to Taylor Swift.
We listened to Taylor Swift, but I was also going to say we were singing along in the car to ABBA. Because as well, because it was really horrible weather and we needed cheering up.
Oh yeah, it was honestly that was depressing up there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think it got to us a little, that location and the weather.
We have to say, I mean, we're in the zone filming this. And where I live or whatever, the weather wasn't nearly as bad as that. It had just been rainy that week, but we were that much higher up or whatever that we really weren't anticipating that much snow and fog.
And it is a pretty forlorn place.
Yeah,
beautiful certainly in the summer and
we can see it in the film. It looks idyllic in
sunlight. It's grandiose. The panoramics are wonderful, like most of Switzerland. But then, wow.
Yeah. It certainly fitted the mood when we went there.
So that is. I thought before you even asked me the question, and this is improvised. I thought, what is Rupert going to ask me, and what is my most vivid memory? It's certainly the weather up there. And how forlorn the place was, and how spooky.
My other vivid memory is the bit that's included on the credits of the film, with that bit with you shaking the tree and painting the branch and saying, "It's an Argento special effect."
Because it looked like that, honestly. I mean, it was terrible special effects in that film. But that's the fun of it.
Yeah,
It's,
absolutely. Yeah.
It all looks very handmade.
Yeah. Anyway,
funny.
That's our little video. There will be a link to the original documentary in the description to this video, and please check it out, and I hope you enjoy watching it.